because the HCC management is waiting, and that's a difficult set of numbers. That stock is down another 4% today after yesterday's deep cuts. And here's Ajit Gulabchand, the Chairman and Managing Director, speaking with our colleague Yash Jain.
I would say a substantial increase from the 19,000 would take place to at least about 25,000.
Right.
So I think this is something that is easily possible, because we'll be also increasing our turnover during the current year. So that increased turnover plus, so the order backlog would go up by about a few 6, 7, 8,000 hopefully. So we'll come back.
Okay.
So fundamentally, this is what we are looking at.
What's the current debt on HCC level?
As I told you, our debt is reduced to about 3,270.
Okay. And you said that you expect significant...
Of which about 1,400 crores is working capital.
Right.
So that's not a debt.
Right.
So that leaves us with about 2,300 crores or so that we have to pay back.
How do you see that reducing in the coming financial year?
Because I have to get money from government, I hesitate to give, but we should be able to reduce it.
To what point, if you could?
I would like to bring it down to zero, but let's say over the next 18 months or so, we should be able to clear this debt.
Okay.
2,000 crores.
Coming on a very important subsidiary, of course, you spoke about how Switzerland subsidiary has been working very efficiently. Lavasa is becoming a pain point for the company. In fact, there's an auditor's report which was floating in the market today, which has red flagged certain financial parameters of that particular subsidiary. How do you read into those red flags? What's your stance as far as that is concerned?
There are two features here. First is, let us understand, Lavasa, was stopped by the government, and it created problems for us. It went on like this with non-cooperation from the banks.
Right.
Finally, when the banks came to a conclusion of how to fund Lavasa on a long-term basis, they took a decision based on which 5 bankers came forth and implemented it. And then the 2-3 other important banks backed out of it, stalling the whole process. As a result, the project got stalled.
Right.
So obviously it needed resolution. Now, fortunately, it looks like what the RBI did to say that they should resolve within that has come to the rescue to find a resolution, and that is underway.
Right.
And a few, 2 or 3 big investors have shown interest in wanting to invest with Lavasa. And we are now under discussion to find the resolution between bankers.
Are these Indian investors or foreign investors?
Investors is an answer.
Okay.
Now this is it.
You spoke about the debt recast plan, and you were in talks with the lenders. You are in talks with lenders as far as that plan is concerned. Help us understand, and the market and the investors, how far has that plan moved?
No. We are not discussing this at this stage.
Could we expect a resolution in the first half of FY19?
Listen to me. This is a process, and this process is underway. And all I can tell you, it's a robust process, and it is under a robust way. And there will be solutions.
Okay.
Is my opinion.
Okay. As far as getting into the nitty-gritties of this audit report is concerned, one point which they've said is that the liabilities of the Lavasa subsidiary exceed the assets by over 2,300 crore. Well, that's a substantial amount, sir.
No, I'm sorry. I don't entirely agree with that issue.
Okay.
For the simple reason, the valuation of Lavata land that you own is anybody's conjecture.
Right.
If you go by the ready reckoner that charges the stamp duty, then this does not hold true.
Right. My question here is slightly different. My question is, if in any situation the debt recast plan does not materialize, let's assume it, then in that case would filing for bankruptcy be the only option, or the option which you would consider for Lavasa?
I don't know who will file for. We are not going to file for bankruptcy. Even if it goes, it's also a resolution process. It is not that bankruptcy means that it's going to go into liquidation.
Right.
It's also a second chance at resolution.
So one point, of course, in terms of finer details of that audit report, it says that Lavasa has trade receivables or inflows of about 4,200 crore pending from its various subsidiaries. Help me understand, they've also mentioned that the value of these subsidiaries has significantly eroded.
This is a general issue, because the moment that Lavasa project picks up, the valuations of all these go up.
No. Right now, as things stand, out of that 4,200
Lavasa is not a project that's going to close down.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Right. But just wanted to understand, out of that 4,200 crore which they're pointing out,
it's not all. No, listen, the subsidiaries are not all owned by us.
The Lavasa subsidiaries. What is the fair value?
They're not all owned by us. There are substantial partners in those subsidiaries.
Right. Would you be able to give us a fair sense in terms of what could be the kind of recoverables from that?
No. As far as Lavasa is concerned, we are not discussing that more than we did.
Okay.
As far as that report is concerned, that was there last year, it was there previous year. Any company that is going through some stress is going to face these same questions.
Okay.
And there is nobody who can clearly answer, because it's a new kind of project.
Absolutely.
And it's a land value project.
Okay.
As I told you, go by the ready reckoner value, which is almost 2 crores an acre, and 10,000 acres. You're talking of a very different valuation.
Right. No.
When you look at some of these things, the moment you solve the financial structuring of this project, suddenly all these subsidiaries become workable.
Right.
So my point is, the stalling of the project creates something. And the uninstalling again changes its value.
Right.
So you have to understand this. This is not a steel bill, which is running around every day. And then who are quoting for the steel bills? All steel people.
Right.
And that too only 2. So the issue here is not that. The issue here is, because it's a unique project, because it's a city development project, it has many, many unknowns in it. And that's why these concerns are there. But the moment 2 things happen, everything changes.
Right, the project Lavasa was stalled, and that's because of issues with respect to the government. That's what he's saying at this point in time. But you'll get to hear that through the course of the day. For now, let's take a break. We'll return with the